Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Thursday, the 13th of February. Following Robert Murray McShane, we reach the end of Mark's Gospel, reading chapter 16 today. And it ends abruptly at verse 8. And then we've got verses 9 to 20, which are flagged. And they say this is probably a later edition. And having that in the Bible is really useful, because often people say, I'm not sure we can trust an ancient text like the Bible, because surely there must have been additions. Over the years, people must have changed it and added to it. And so we probably haven't got the original words of Jesus recorded here. And we can say to them, what you're saying is true. And it probably did happen. And where it did, we can find it. And we now have the science of textual criticism, which doesn't just look at the Bibles we've got, but they go and they look at the texts and the fragments of text that we've got stored away in museums and kept safe, that go back to the first century, and little bits and pieces that go back to within 20, 30 years of Jesus' life. And we're using those to shape our understanding of the text of Scripture. And where we have doubts, where there are questions, we highlight it, as we've got here. And so this was a later edition, ancient though it be, it's an addition to the Gospel of Mark. And what that does is it means that the rest of the text is that much more reliable for us. We can put that much more faith and trust in it, because where there are problems, they've been highlighted. And so we have this as a useful part of the Gospel to help our understanding, and to guide us in our thinking, and to confirm what we read elsewhere in Scripture. I wouldn't use it for theology, to ground theology on, but useful as a passage to read. Having said that, I will use it today. Verse 14, Jesus after the resurrection, we're told, later Jesus appeared to the 11 as they were eating. He rebuked them for their lack of faith and their stubborn refusal to believe those who had seen him after he had risen. And I thought, what an encouraging verse, because we haven't seen Jesus risen from the dead. We've got the testimony of others. And in this passage, Jesus is reported to have expected people to believe the testimony of others, and to rely on the witness of other people. And we are in exactly the same position. And we've got the eyewitness accounts, and we can trust them. So be encouraged in your faith that we can, even if we haven't seen Jesus ourselves, we can trust and believe the stories of others, as we do in all sorts of other parts of our life. And we have a reliable text passed on to us with the original story quite carefully guarded and passed on. Draw strength from that and encouragement, and be blessed.